Hello students, this is Shweta Roy. This video is for Chapter 1, Part 1, History, the French Revolution. In this video, we are going to discuss about the French Revolution. So here we have the first incident of Bastille. The Bastille was a prison in Paris, in France. It was destroyed during the French Revolution on 14th July 1789. It was attacked by rebels from the Third Estate. We'll understand about these states further in the video. Now, this event is considered the beginning of the French Revolution. Today in France, the 14th July or Bastille Day is a national holiday. Now, as Bastille was a prison, it held common criminals such as forgers and thieves, as well as people put in prison for religious reasons. There were also people who had for printed or written things against the government or the king. Now, people of high rank were sometimes held there too. The prison, which could only hold about 50 prisoners, was not as bad most of the prisons in the Paris. But secrecy about the prison and its prisoners gave it an evil reputation. Now, the people of Paris attacked the Bastille on 14th July 1789, following several days of protest. After several days of protest, they attacked on the prison. They were after the gunpowder and weapons that were kept at the prisons. So they wanted that gunpowder and weapons. They were not attacking the Bastille to free the 7 prisoners inside. The prison was guarded by about 80 invalids, that means old soldiers, led by Governor Bernard René de Launay. There was also an extra group of 32 grenadiers from one of the Swiss mercenary regiments brought to Paris by the king shortly before 14 July. A crowd of around 8,000 men and women were outside the Bastille by mid-morning. They wanted the guards to give up the prison, remove the artillery guns, and give them the gunpowder and weapons. 2 people chosen to represent those outside were invited into the fortress to talk with the governor. Now, at about 1 p.m., the crowd broke into the undefended outer courtyard, and the chains on the drawbridge to the inner courtyards were cut. Now, there was some gunfire, but by mid-afternoon, the crowd was supported by mutinous guardes franchises of the royal army and 2 cannons. Delaunay ordered his guards to stop shooting, and he gave up the fortress. The crowd swept into the Bastille at about 5:30 p.m. So like this, they captured the prison. The crowd took the weapons, gunpowder, and freed the 7 prisoners. They had to break down the doors because the keys had already been taken and shown in the streets. Even though they had surrendered, the governor and some of the guards of the Bastille were killed. Their heads were cut off, stuck onto long poles, and marched through the streets. This is the interior of Bastille in 1785 by Jean Honor Fragonard. This is the plan of Bastille, and you can see the firing. So like this, the Bastille was captured and all the weapons and gunpowders were taken by the people, and from here only it is assumed that it is considered that the French Revolution starts. Now, French society during the late 18th century. So, to understand the French Revolution, we have to understand the structure of the society. So, in 1774, Louis XVI of Bourbon family of kings ascended the throne of France. He was 70 years old that time, and he was married to Austrian Princess Marie Antoinette. Now, upon his succession, the new king found an empty treasure. The treasure was empty. Now, long years of war had drained the financial resources of France. Added to this was the cost of maintaining an extravagant court at the immense place of Versailles. Now, this Versailles palace need to be maintained, and it needs the finance to maintain it, but the thing was, the treasure of the king was empty. Now, under Louis XI, France helped the 13th American colonies to gain their independence from the common enemy, that is Britain. So, the France held 13 countries, that was that time American colonies, to free themselves, to get independence. The war added more than $1 billion livres to a debt that had already risen to more than 2 billion livres. Lenders who gave the state credit now began to charge 10% interest on loan. So it was a very high interest. So on this high interest, the state was taking the loan. The French government was obliged to spend an increasing percent of its budget on interest payments alone. To meet its regular expenses, such as cost of maintaining an army, the court, running government offices or universities, the state was forced to increase taxes. That was the only option they had. Now they were already, the treasure was empty. There was having no treasure. Now the palace need to be maintained. Also, for the other expenses, they need finance. So the option was to increase the taxes. Yet even this measure would not have sufficed. French society in the 18th century was divided into three states. We already read about the third state just in the Bastille case. So here we will understand what are those three states in which the society was divided. The only members of the third state paid taxes. The Society of States was part of the feudal system that dated back to the Middle Age. The term old regime is usually used to describe the society and institutions of France before 1789. Now further here we will understand the three states. What are those three states? So here you can see we have three states in which the society was divided. The first was clergy, second was nobility, third was the businessmen, merchants, court officials, lawyers, etc., peasant and artisans, small peasant, landless labor, servants. So these are the three states, and the third states need to pay the taxes. First and second states were free from the taxes. Now the peasants made up to 90% of the population. Only a small number of them owned the land they cultivated. Now about 60% of the land was owned by the nobles. In 90% of population of peasant, only 30% were having land, and rest 60% of the land on which they were working was owned by the second state, that is nobles, the church and other rich members. So second and first states. Now the members of first two states, that is clergy and the nobility, enjoyed certain privileges by birth. The most important of these was exemption from paying taxes to the state. So first clergy and second nobility were exempted from paying the tax. Now these included feudal dues which they extracted from the peasants. Now peasants were obliged to render services to the lord, to work in his house and field, to serve in army, or to participate in building roads. The church too extracted its share of taxes called tithes from the peasants. And finally all members of the third state had to pay taxes to the state. These included a direct state called tailles and a number of indirect states which were levied on articles of everyday consumptions like salt or tobacco. The burden of financing activities of the state through taxes was borne by the third state only. Also, they were paying taxes directly to the state on the materials, on the everyday consumption, the things which is consumed every day, that was also having taxes, and that taxes also they were paying. They were paying the taxes to the church also. So you can see a lot of taxes they were paying. Actually they were burdened with the taxes. Now the struggle to survive. The population of France rose from about 23 million in 1715 to 28 million in 1789. Now this was a rapid increase in demand of food grains. With the increase of population, the demand of food grains also increased. Production of grains could not keep pace with the demand. So the price of bread, which was staple diet of the majority, rose rapidly. Now most workers were employed as laborers in workshops whose owner fixed their wages. But wages did not keep pace with the rise in prices. So with the increase in population, the demand of grains increased, food grains increased, but the production of grains was not increased as per the demand. So the price of the bread increased. Now the workers were getting their wages from the workshops, employers, but that wages also did not rise with the prices. Their wages were still there and the prices were growing. So the gap between the poor and rich widened. Things became worse whenever drought or hail reduced the harvest. This led to a subsistence crisis, something that occurred frequently in France during the old regime. Now how this subsistence crisis was working, here we will see this. So the population increased. With the population, demand of food grain increased, but the production of food grain was not increased as per the demand. In result, the price of bread, which was the staple food that time, was increased. Now the employers were giving wages to their employee and that wages was not increased, but the prices were going high, and like this there was a huge difference in rich and poor, and this formed the subsistence crisis. Here we have a diagram, the course of subsistence crisis, how a subsistence crisis happens. I just explained that, and here are some clues. According to these clues, you need to fill these blanks. So do this activity. I hope you all understood all the topics taught in this video. The capacity to learn is a gift, the ability to learn is a skill, the willingness to learn is a choice, and whatever you do with your choice makes it wonderful. So learn with your choice and something wonderful will happen in your life. Thank you.